Welcome into Game Changers.
This is a game changer right here.
This is a game changer.
Right
a little
here.
different
I can just,
set here.
There you go.
And he's gone. And he's gone. Yes, we are getting a really cool set here at CBS Miami. So we're switching sides. We're actually on the news desk.
Is it going to be really cool?
It's going to be awesome.
Okay.
Have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't seen it, but I see the studio there. It's kind of like. It kind of looks like my bedroom, you know.
It's going to look like we're in the year 3000.
Yeah,
let me tell you something. Mike Cunio, Kim Bokamper here in 2025. And, of course, we've got our good friend Steve Goldstein somewhere out in California. Hey, Goldie, are you being held hostage right now? What's going on out there?
You know what, let me tell you, it is so bright out, okay? The sun is so strong that any little glimpse through, and you wouldn't even be able to see me. So, that's what's happening out here in California.
Well,
obviously, let me say this, guys.
So, are you anywhere around the fires there, Goldie?
Yes, I was going to say that, been out here for this week.
Yeah.
It's really an amazing outpouring, not only from everybody, but from the sports community.
Yeah.
Incredible how much money has been raised. We played down in Anaheim the other night. They raised like $6 million, the Kings last night. And the NHL is going to do a celebrity game. Guys like Justin Bieber that are big hockey fans and play hockey, they're going to do a celebrity game at crypto.com next month. So I haven't seen anything. It's kind of like, from afar, like if a hurricane unfortunately hits the west coast of Florida and people ask us on the east side, hey, you don't really see anything because it's far enough away. So that's what's going on.
Well, it's good to see that hockey is being played over there in LA. At least give those folks a little bit of a distraction, if not just for a couple of hours. Goldie, I also just want to quick mention, happy birthday, my friend. You're not here.
Thank you.
Happy birthay.
You're not here to celebrate.
There you go.
You finally get to be on Out to Pasture.
Are we going to sing happy birthday?
He qualifies.
Are you turning 50?
I'm 55, my friend. I'm
he's been there
to be on it.
So
you are.
You don't look a day over 51, I'm telling you.
You look great, my friend. Someone who doesn't look great right now, Jimmy Butler. This whole saga reached a new level this week. He gets another 2-game suspension by the Miami Heat. And Goldie, I'll start with you. When are athletes going to stop trying, Pat Riley? Because it seems like everyone who has gone up against the Godfather seems to lose the battle one way or the other. When will players learn?
Well, for the most part, they have. I mean, you see most of the players that have come through the Heat, and Alonzo Mourning's the best example, right, of all the guys that have either come back or stayed with the team in some capacity. Bob McAdoo had been there forever, guys like Keith Askins. So for the most part, they do learn. Now, here's the thing about Jimmy Butler. I'm not sure he really cares very much that this is going on, that he keeps getting suspended, that the team season, let's call it what it is, they're a 500 team. They'll probably make at least the play-in, and then it'll probably be a first-round exit against a high seed. I don't think Jimmy Butler really cares about any of that, about challenging the Heat culture. And I guess it goes back to last summer where the foresight should have been probably on both sides, that if you're not going to give him that contract extension, there's at least a decent percentage chance that this thing is going to crumble and go downhill. And that's exactly where it is.
So you can't have a player miss a plane. And look, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. But my assumption is he knew what was going on. Yeah. He knew when the flight was going to be there. It just changed a little bit. And I'm not going out there. And we were talking about this before the show. Let's take a bigger look at sports in general, particularly in the NBA. These guys now are making so much money that I think their outside interests weigh more heavily on them than what they're doing in the NBA or in their sport. That money only fuels their hobbies that they can do, and I think they care more about it. As basketball has gone on, every year the more guys have gotten play. Now this starts about probably just after the Larry Bird, Magic Johnson era. Yeah. Maybe a half a decade after that, where now all of a sudden, oh geez, we got to play 82 games. Man, my goodness, No, now I got to play 60. Oh my gosh, what am I? How am I going to run my coffee shop? Right. Well, if I got to play over 60 games. So that to me is the virus that has really gotten their claws into every aspect of professional sports.
Well, let me just say this about the whole suspension.
Goldie's almost in that position right now. He goes where he wants to go.
That's right. I mean, he's never here. Priorities, my man. I'm glad the Heat suspended him. I don't care if he missed the flight or anything, because at some point you have to stop trotting him out there on the floor just for show, because you still have to trade him. God forbid someone dives at his knees and all of a sudden now you're stuck with Jimmy Butler, who can't get traded because he's hurt, and he's going to opt into that player deal in the summer, and now you're paying a guy $50 million who's definitely not going to play for you. Good on the Heat for doing this. Enough. I think it's over. I think we're done seeing him in a Heat uniform. By the time they get back to Miami Monday, I'm hoping this whole saga is over with.
Now, Goldie, how long can they suspend him for? Can they suspend him for the rest of the year? Can they,
Well, you've got to have a reason with the Players Association if you're going to send him for the year.
It's got to be a good reason, too.
Yeah, and, because remember this. Okay, Jimmy Butler's making $50 million. Like, he's making a fortune every game. So you just can't take the guy's money away because, hey, we disagree with him. And he'll say, well, you let me take my own flights and stay at my own hotel.
Right.
We played Denver in the NBA Finals. Now you're telling me I can't? So there needs to be specific reason. But from what we understand, the Heat, and it's no surprise with Pat Riley running the show, they have got all of this locked tight, documented exactly what's gone on, when it's gone on. So I agree at some point here really soon. They just got to move on from him. But
and I heard his coladas aren't even that good,
Listen, I went to Big Face Coffee.
All right.
$10 for a coffee.
Oh, $10.
I'm just saying.
Hey, Cunha, when you're making $372,000 a game and you're suspended, you got to charge.
You got to charge. And that rent down there in the design district is crazy. Jimmy Butler lost $2 million with the last suspension. He's going to lose about $700,000. You just heard the figures there from Goldie. No suspensions here. No one's getting their paychecks docked. But when we come back,
you getting a paycheck?
You're not? Never mind. Hey, Goldie, don't say anything to Bill Bo about getting paid. When we come back here on Game Changers, we're going to dip into the NFL playoffs. How about that? The NFL taking a little backseat to the NBA and Game Changers. Who's going to win this weekend and who's going to win the Super Bowl? We got to talk about it. Welcome back to Game Changers.
I still like that music.
It never gets old.
It never gets old.
It never gets old. Don't steal it.
It gets a little old, but
this is getting old. Listen, it is Conference Championship weekend in the NFL. The NFC East, the Eagles and the Commanders, they're going to battle it out there for a spot in the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, in the AFC, you got the Bills, and for the 7th straight time, you have got the Kansas City Chiefs in the title game. Bo, what are your feelings towards this game? Because
Which one?
The AFC title game, because I see a lot of reaction on Twitter. There's a lot of Chief fatigue. There's a lot of, I hope the Bills finally win one. And then from Dolphin fans, anybody but Josh Allen in Buffalo.
You know what? Since this morning I was doing my 8 minutes on the stationary bike at the gym,
right? Good
and
for
I'm
you.
watching I'm watching the television screen, and they're arguing about Pat Mahomes' legacy,
right?
And I'm looking at this guy. He's won everything he can do.
No question about his legacy.
He's the one quarterback in the National Football League that you couldn't put on any team, and they become a Super Bowl contender.
Right.
And they're talking about the legitimacy of Pat Mahomes. This guy is a winner from start to finish. Now, this being said, and I think I said it last week, it could be blasphemy, I would love to see the Buffalo Bills get into a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl mostly because of their fans and the legacy that they've had supporting that football team. But I tell you what, I would never bet against Pat Mahomes. Never bet against Pat Mahomes.
Goldie, now that Beaucamper's a big Bills fan, he says if they make the Super Bowl, he's going to get us a suite and we're all going. So with that being said, are you going to root for the Bills this weekend, or do you want to see Patrick Mahomes
continue his chase to catch
Tom Brady?
Well, I got a couple of things. First of all, Cunio, it's about 7 minutes and 20 seconds more than I thought he was on the stationary bike at the 8 minutes. So, number one, that's impressive, almost as impressive as what the Kansas City Chiefs have done. No, I don't want the Bills to get there because the only thing the Dolphins have over Buffalo is the fact that they've never been to the Super Bowl. They've never won a Super Bowl. Right. So, but you think about what the Chiefs have done. Yeah. 7 consecutive championship games. They're 4-2 in those games. If it wasn't for Tom Brady, the record would be even better. It is incredible what the Chiefs have done. And this year, I mean, almost weekly, they don't dominate anybody, but they find a way to win. We're watching people that are fatigued. That's fine. You can be fatigued. I appreciate what the Chiefs are doing. What they're doing is truly incredible, changing over receivers and, and all the changes that are made and still having the excellence.
They lose Tyreek. They're losing all these players.
Doesn't matter.
They got guys hurting now. Everyone that seemed to plug in there plays the Chiefs way, and they get it done. And to me, that's a testament to Andy Reid and that coaching staff for the Kansas City Chiefs.
I've learned to appreciate greatness when you have it. So I kind of just want to see how far the Chiefs can actually carry this run. Goldie, the Commanders have a sensational rookie quarterback in Jaden Daniels. Is there any chance in your mind that a rookie quarterback can actually not only make the Super Bowl, but win the Super Bowl? Is this the kid that can do it?
I think he definitely can. He's 23 years old. He's calm. He's cool. He's got the size. He's got the legs. Remember, guys, we've talked about this before. We saw them back in August when the Dolphins played him in the preseason. They had those joint practices, and he was amazing. And remember, Dan Quinn, he's been around the block. He was the head coach of the Falcons with Mike McDaniel, ironically enough, on the staff, and a number of other head coaches when they blew that 28-3 lead to New England in the Super Bowl. So this isn't a guy that, is there for the first time either. He knows what it takes. Daniels looks like he's now in that class and going to be in that class for a decade or more. Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. I think he's that type of player. You know my feelings on the Eagles. I thought they'd win the NFC all along because of Saquon Barkley. He was my pick for MVP. It is rare to have a guy that every time he touches the ball, he can explode. So I do think Philly at home, with Detroit losing, this is the Eagles' time. They get the home field advantage, and I think Philly finds a way to win the game.
I think the Commanders has been a great story.
Yeah.
I mean, this football team was in the ashes, and with no hope for anything going on. All of a sudden, they get the quarterback. And this has been a great story. And not only is it, they didn't stumble into this thing. No. They've earned it. They've played good football teams. They've beat good football teams to get here. But look, I think the storybook ending is already been done for them. I just don't see them beating a Philadelphia team. I think Philadelphia, especially that offensive line, is just so physical and gives Saquon Barkley so much space to get into the second level of the game. And then you've got Jalen Hurts, is not the greatest throwing quarterback, but he puts pressure on you. Run the football, he can throw the ball. This Philadelphia football team, look, I would guess, to me, the best game, the game that the network would like to see would be Philadelphia and Kansas City
rematch
in that rematch there. See what happens there.
Rematch from a couple of years ago. You brought up something about the organizational rebuild that the Commanders went through. I want to come back to the AFC East for a moment. The Jets have their head coach. The Patriots now have their head coach. We're filled out here in the AFC East in terms of coaches. So they've got interesting momentum or something to look forward to. The Bills obviously have a ton to look forward to. The Dolphins, Bo, what are you looking forward to with the Dolphins heading into the offseason or next year?
We got the same coach, right?
Yeah.
We got the same GM, right?
Same coach, same GM, same quarterback.
We lost our D quarter. I think we're getting ready to lose our.
He's interviewing.
Defensive coordinator.
At the time of this taping, he's still the defensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins.
Look, I hope that the brain trust of that football team has really done some soul searching about guys missing practices, guys coming in late, and the situation where they got to learn that you cannot give your players the opportunity to run their own football team. Because, look, there was someone in the paper today who said, oh, geez, I could play here for 20 years with Coach Mike McDaniels the way practice is. You know, you don't want him to play for 20 years. You want guys that play 10 years, and you come out with about 8 playoff games, two AFC championship games, and a trip to the Super Bowl.
And 14 surgeries.
That's what you want.
All right. Goldie, anything to look forward to for the Dolphins heading into the offseason for you?
Well, I do think so because, look, the Bills and Chiefs have been good every single year. They got Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I think that trumps everything. But go over to the NFC. Look at the way Philly ended that season last year. They were talking Jalen Hurts doesn't even talk to the coach, Nick Sirianni. There's all kinds of problems. They got blown out at the end of the year, even in the playoffs over in Tampa, and they're back this year. And then you look at the Commanders. This was a 4-win team a season ago. So you can change things in a hurry, but I agree with you, Bo. There needs to be some type of, if you want to call it culture change, from the top. And the fact that Mike McDaniel, when the season ended, publicly in the press conference brought this stuff up, he didn't have to do that. I think he's publicly calling out some players, and hopefully they get some leaders that step up next year. It's one thing for the coach, and you know this better than we do, Bo. You've been in locker rooms your whole life. It's one thing for a coach or a GM. It's different when the guy next to you says, hey, man, you got to perform better. I need you here. I'm trying to feed my family. Once you're accountable to the guy to the left of you and the right of you in the locker room, that's when you develop the culture.
All right, well, we're looking forward to head
coach
you know
what, they can take that music off the practice field so the coaches can coach a little bit while they're out there.
It's a little loud. It's a little loud.
Hey, guys out there doing a jig, dancing and whatnot.
You're a little loud.
You're trying to talk to him about covering somebody.
You're a little loud.
He's doing a pirouette out there.
You're a little loud, Bo.
Trying to get into Bolshoi Valet or something.
I don't know what any of that is. And so on that note, we will take another break here on Game Changers. We got some hockey questions for Goldie.
Put some music on.
We have great music. Just play the Game Changers music at practice. We'll be right back.
Oh, they would love that.
Time to talk a little hockey here on Game Changers. Goldie, we've talked about the goaltending situation for the Panthers for like the last 3 or 4 years. Is Bob the guy? What's going on with Spencer Knight? But I got to say, Spency, he's looked good this year. Is he all the way back?
Well, I don't know where you came up with the name Spency.
I just gave it to him.
Go ahead and call him Spency next time you see him.
See
how he likes that.
You know what? It's a guy that a lot of people kind of forgot about, was in the minor leagues last year. And, they've done an amazing job with this goaltending position. Remember, years ago, you went from Chris Drieger to Alex Lyon to Anthony Stolars as the backups. And now Knight, he's 23 years old now. He's been around a little bit, played finally a full pro season last year in the AHL, and all of a sudden the clock turns to 2025, and he has been dynamite. It's a great situation for this team because Sergei Bobrovsky still playing at an incredible level, which is remarkable, and healthy at 36 years old. But they're finding out right now, and you need to find out, is Spencer Knight going to be that guy? And if the last month is any indication at all, the answer is yes. You're seeing this guy's amazing physical talent of why they drafted him in the first round. And one thing I think as he matures, he's getting through is the technical aspect of it, of positioning and thinking about things maybe too much. He's letting his physical ability just take over. Don't think so much. Kind of like the kicker in the NFL, right? You always say this, hey, just make the kick, right? So the goalie, same thing, just make the save. And he's doing that.
Listen, and by the way.
Whoa, wait a minute. Didn't our guy Bobby bring us a Stanley Cup?
Yeah, no one's
just
questioning
about
Bob.
6 months.
No one's
You're questioning him right now. Should we go with Spencer Knight?
No.
Oh, geez.
No, first of all, excuse me.
They're not done carving his name in the Stanley Cup, and you want to throw him overboard?
I'm not throwing him over. First of all,
my gosh.
It's Spency. Thank you. And no one said anything bad about Bob. We're just happy that Spencer Knight has figured it out, and it seems like
you're intimating that they should bump him out.
Never once.
And give him the job.
Goldie, have my back here. Did I ever say
that's what I heard.
Was I ever trying to push Bob
coming out of my
line?
left ear right here.
We're going to have to go back and look at the tape.
Yeah, let's run that tape back.
Bob is the starter, and you're riding and dying in 2025 with Bobrovsky. So I took it as maybe Mike was talking about, Bo. You know, in the future, is Spencer Knight going to be the guy? I think.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
Bo's got a different take on it.
His future is next week. It's not next year. It's not 26. It's next week.
I'm looking
got a
forward
short
to
fuse for these guys.
My next cup of coffee. That's how far I
That's
look
why I
ahead
didn't
into
get
the
tickets,
future.
because I couldn't hear that. I couldn't sit next to him and hear that kind of
on the
stuff.
ice. This guy stinks.
Get Bobby out of there.
I would never say that. I would never say that.
Yes, I heard it myself.
Big Bob
I heard it
guy.
right there.
Bob
right
and
there,
Spency 2028.
Bobby and Spency. Ooh, that sounds good. Sounds like a tough team right there.
Wrap things up with what's trending when we come back on Game Changers. Time now for what's trending on Game Changers. And guys, I saw this in the news this week that Netflix is upping their price once again. And we're not going to discuss that. That is their business. They handle it however they want. But it got me thinking, or us thinking in the sports department, this is an Uncle Leo question. What was the first show you ever binge watched? Go all the way back to your HBO days or black and white TV, Bo, however you want to look at this. Goldie, what was your first show you ever binge watched?
You know, I think it might have been, and I was a little late on the binge watching because I have some discipline and self-control. I actually still read a book once in a blue moon, unlike most people.
Nice.
I think when COVID hit, okay, so we're going back, 5 full years now.
Yeah.
I binge watched because everybody would say, hey, this Larry David guy created Seinfeld. Curb Your Enthusiasm. I had never watched it, but during COVID, we all had time. So I remember binge watching Curb Your Enthusiasm during COVID. I think that's the first one that I literally, to your point, had never seen and watched all of it within a couple of weeks.
Wow.
Well, you know, I would have said it would have been Andy Griffith back there, you know, the Andy Griffith show with Barney Fife and all those guys, but that wasn't binge watching. Well, the first show that I actually binge watched was Sons of Anarchy.
Okay,
that was that was, you know, I used to sit there with my daughter and go, hey, let's watch an episode, and we'd be like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're like 5 episodes deep, and you couldn't stop watching it.
Mine was The Office. I tore my ACL in college. I remember getting The Office on a hard drive. Don't ask me where this person got it from. We don't need to name names or websites, and I'd plug it in my computer, sit there as my leg was being like stretched on that thing, and watch The Office from start to finish.
Isn't binge watching one of those series? There you go. Because
you watch the whole thing.
No, I'm talking about the ones like that are on Netflix and those where you got like Yellowstone.
Everything's on Netflix.
Yeah, you got years of them.
Years of them.
Yeah, The Office at this time was like 6 seasons in, so I was starting the beginning and catching up. Yeah.
By the way, 2 great ones right now on Paramount Plus. If you haven't seen it, okay. Yeah. Lioness.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that.
They happen to be Lioness.
Yeah, I'm gonna start watching
Landman. And Landman, the oil show, incredible.
Well, let me tell you this: if we're going this way,
he gets paid.
Let me give you a hint. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you can binge Gunsmoke.
I don't know what that is.
Come on, you don't know Gunsmoke?
Gunsmoke.
No. And then The Rifleman comes on right after it, so that's pretty good TV viewing.
What are you
right
talking
there.
about? I never know what you're talking about.
All you need to know about those shows where there's like guns that Bo watches. There's 1 bullet in the gun. You fire it, and that's the end of it.
I don't watch them unless.
Look at Uncle Leo trying to sneak in here. We're not going to
watch them unless they're black and white.
We're not going to allow that. All right, we're going to wrap things up on Game Changers. Apparently, we lost Goldie, and Uncle Leo's hopping in. Thanks for watching Game Changers. We'll see you next time.